Well, good Monday morning, Alaska. We are seeing the rain as well as some light snow showers and drizzle that has been with us across South Central coming to an end. Now, with that said, we are expected to see that winter weather advisory out towards Thompson Pass. That remains in effect until noon today, where we are watching that potential for additional few inches of snow accumulation. But as far as the rest of South Central, things are beginning to shape up to really just bring some slushy and slick conditions across the region. Yes, we could still see the occasional drizzle in the forecast, but largely expecting to see our big concern today and into tomorrow being those road conditions. Looks like we do have some low-level clouds trying to lead to some fog formation across parts of South Central this morning. 33 degrees in Anchorage, out towards southeast. We've got a showery and warm weather pattern that's going to stay with us this week, while the interior, we will be watching some snow showers building in through the middle of the week with cold conditions through the second half of this week. In fact, Fairbanks and most of the interior will likely see some of the coldest conditions we've seen so far this season as we close out this week. But a lot going on across the state when we're talking about our next incoming storm system. Now, that area of low pressure that's out towards Prince William Sound, that continues to slowly move off towards the east. That's taking what remnants of moisture we do have across South Central with it and leaving in its place just for the most part mostly cloudy to overcast skies today, although later this afternoon we could see some sunshine breaks in the forecast. That's not guaranteed, but as we do begin to dry out, we will see that potential. But notice out towards southwest Alaska, we do have some light areas of rain, snow, and a freezing rain mix. That will lead to some light ice accumulation up to about 5/100 of an inch of that light ice accumulation. So be prepared for that. And of course, ongoing wintry mix will stay with us as well. But our next low is just south of the Aleutians, and that's going to drive in even warmer conditions. And yes, we're talking about the potential that southwest Alaska could see a significant icing event as we welcome in your Tuesday and into early Wednesday. For now, we are seeing that ridge remaining with us across the Gulf Coast region. That's keeping things on the warm side for southeast into South Central, parts of the Alaska Peninsula down through the Aleutians. This is where we're continuing to hold on to some of these warmer conditions. Daily highs have been sitting in the mid to upper 30s across South Central, while overnight lows, they've been flirting with that freezing mark. So we've been holding on to that freeze-thaw pattern. So while our first alert weather day for today has been allowed to be canceled, still be careful on those roadways. We're also seeing some of that dirty snow, so you want to make sure that you top off your fluids as well, because as that snow and then water being kicked back on your windshield, very dirty water at that, and that will lead to some smudging. So make sure you do top off your fluids here over the next couple of days. But our focus is what we're going to be watching for southwest Alaska arrives overnight on into our Tuesday and into early Wednesday morning. We've got a winter storm warning out towards the Yukon Delta, which extends eastward, and then as you head out towards Bethel, out towards the Kuskokwim Delta coastline, this is where we're watching an ice storm warning. That goes into effect at 3 a.m. tonight. Now, for the freezing rain potential today, it's only going to amount to about just a few hundredths of an inch of that accumulation, so nothing significant. But overnight into tomorrow, as we tap into more of that moisture that's going to be moving in from the south, we are going to have a warm layer aloft, and that is going to lead to that potential that we could see some significant icing in the forecast. We could be seeing some areas that shaded in that darker purple where we could see the potential for up to a half an inch of ice accumulation. And again, that arrives from Tuesday on into your Wednesday, and this is our next big thing that we are tracking across the state. It will bring freezing rain to areas of southwest Alaska, rain here in South Central. We've got some snow that will move into the interior, as well as parts of the Yukon Delta and out towards the Seward Peninsula. But the greatest concern, of course, will be out towards southwest Alaska. As this system winds down, we are going to see colder weather to follow. In fact, some of the coldest weather of the season does look likely for the interiors. Temperatures will bottom out well below zero. Yes, the interior has already seen those overnight lows dropping below zero at times, but we're talking about even colder conditions. The coldest after afternoon high that Fairbanks has seen so far this season is -1. By week's end on into the weekend, we're talking about afternoon highs sitting anywhere from about 10 to 15 below, while those overnight lows drop anywhere from 20 to 30 below. So that's what we're going to be watching for the second half of the week. But of course, we are going to continue to see this next storm system as it unfolds, bringing that potential for some freezing rain, snow, and wintry mix across the state. Here in South Central for the remainder of today, can't rule out some lingering drizzle, but most of those impacts have come to an end through the weekend. But notice that system moving in just south of the Aleutians as it builds northward. We're going to tap into plenty of moisture. You can see a lot of moisture associated with this storm system. Now notice out towards the Kuskokwim Delta coastline from Nunivak Island out towards Kipnuk, where we are watching that potential for some ice to arrive through the overnight hours on into your Tuesday morning. So this could lead to some significant icing concerns. Not only will this lead to very icy ground surfaces, but we're talking about some ice on any power lines, if there are any out in that area of southwest Alaska. My apologies, as I'm not quite aware of what's the grounds do look like out towards that part of the state, but this significant icing could pose some concern. Now notice as you head further north into the interior, this is where we're going to see more in the way of some snow, where we're talking about the potential for about 2 to 7 inches of snow accumulation for Fairbanks and surrounding areas. But as that moisture builds in, we'll see that potential for some significant icing overnight on into your Tuesday, with a gradual transition to some wintry mix, and then eventually snow Tuesday night into Wednesday as we begin to see that colder air undercut that warmer weather. So be prepared if you look out towards Bethel, out towards the Kuskokwim Delta coastline, Nunivak Island, where we are going to see the greatest potential for that freezing rain. Now with that said, the Yukon Delta could also see some freezing rain in the forecast. Up to about 1/4 of an inch looks possible. The further north you live, the lower your totals will be. But it's really the Kuskokwim Delta coastline we're going to be watching for that potential that we could see some significant icing. And again, this occurs from Tuesday night. That goes into effect late tonight at 3 a.m. in the morning, and then as we welcome in your Wednesday morning, it does expire. So we are going to see that chance for that freezing rain from Tuesday into Wednesday. As that system kind of dwindles down Wednesday, we are going to begin to see that colder weather undercutting all of that moisture that's going to dry out the surface, lead to some clearer skies, and that's where that colder weather will begin to surge back in across the state. So how much ice are we talking about when it comes to areas of southwest Alaska? Well, again, through the remainder of today, just a few hundredths of an inch looks possible, and then as we head into the overnight hours on into tomorrow, that's where we're going to begin to tap into that potential for that significant icing event. Now notice Kipnuk, you can see by Wednesday morning already upwards of about 3/10 of an inch of that ice accumulation. Bethel as well, you can really see that area shaded in pink where we're going to see that greatest concern for that icing potential. Now again, out towards the Yukon Delta, we'll also see that potential for some freezing rain and ice in the forecast, although it will be lower compared to what we are going to see for southwest Alaska. So just be prepared here over the next couple of days, as freezing rain, and snow will be in the forecast for a good portion of the state. Here in South Central, we'll largely hold on to that rain, but rain falling upon icy roads will lead to those slick and slushy conditions, and we'll stay in the mid-30s here across South Central through at least Wednesday before that colder weather does arrive. So when we're talking about that freezing rain and ice potential, temperatures out towards southwest, they're sitting in the 20s and the 30s, which would typically indicate that we are going to see snow in the forecast. But as you head a couple of 100 feet to 1,000 feet above the surface of the earth, we've got that warmer layer aloft, and as that storm system moves in from the south, is going to push even warmer air back into southwest Alaska. So that's going to lead to that snow. As it falls through that warm layer, it's going to melt, and then it's going to hit that freezing layer back at the surface, but it's going to be super cooled water droplets. So that's what we're going to see in the form of that freezing rain and ice concern as we welcome in your Tuesday night into Wednesday. And again, that ice storm warning starts at 3 a.m. tonight and then lasts through early Wednesday morning. And just some icy travel tips. This does include here in South Central as well as through parts of the state where we have been holding on to those temperatures sitting near or above freezing. Keep your steering wheel straight. Anytime you do skid, you want to make sure that you do turn into those skids and allow double, if not triple, distance to stop. You don't want to brake suddenly, as that could cause you to skid or slide off the roadway. So be careful on those roads the next couple of days as we continue to hold on to those slick and icy conditions. So that ridge remains with us across South Central. That will keep temperatures in the 30s the next couple of days. As we head beyond Wednesday, that ridge begins to shift to the east-southeast, and this is going to allow colder air to funnel back in across the state. And as we've already mentioned, this will likely be some of the coldest air that we've seen so far of the season for a good portion of Alaska. In fact, heading through the next week or so, we're going to see a good portion of the state seeing that tilt towards colder conditions, even out towards southeast. Now, while temperatures in southeast will stay in the low to mid 40s through at least Friday, temperatures into the weekend will actually take a dip into the 30s for highs. So we'll see that transition from rain to a rain-snow mix for areas of southeast later this week. So warm weather still with us before those colder conditions arrive. Today you can see a high of 17 in Fairbanks, 20 in Deadhorse. Still holding on to some of those cooler conditions as you head north of the interior. It's really the southern coastline, or at least the southern third of the state, that's been holding on to some of these warmer conditions. 40s through the Aleutians, as well as out towards southeast, where we do have those breezy conditions sticking around as well. That 7-day forecast for Anchorage showing highs staying in the 30s. Again, tomorrow, largely rain. A tenth to about 2/10 of an inch looks possible for Anchorage and surrounding areas. Through Prince William Sound, we could see 1 to 1.5 inches of that rainfall accumulation. And of course, Thompson Pass and through Turnagain Pass could see that potential for some rain-snow mix. So those are some areas you want to watch out for where we could see some of those hazardous road conditions. But as far as most of South Central, we'll see rain building in Tuesday into our Wednesday before it tapers off, and then that colder weather arrives. Not as cold here in South Central as what the rest of the state will see, but we will see those temperatures cooling off about 15 to 20 degrees. This weekend you can see highs dropping into the teens, while overnight lows will be sitting in the single digits, if not the lower teens. And again, if you live out towards southwest Alaska, the Kuskokwim Delta region, this is where we are going to be watching that significant icing event, potentially going to first alert weather data. We'll see more as we head through the rest of the day and get more of that information coming in as that storm system continues to funnel its way towards the north. But for now, do note that there is that potential for some significant icing out towards southwest Alaska. We will continue to keep you updated on that here on the digital desk, as well as online and in our newscast. We'll have the latest information on that coming up at noon. For now, make sure you have a great Monday. Be safe on those roadways. We still have some light drizzle across South Central. As that tapers off, we could see some sunshine in the forecast.